Hello, everybody, again. I hope you are doing well. So, let me just. Okay. Theoretically, I should just be watching now. Okay. Can you listen to everything? Okay, so I'm just going to create something emotional. So I'm just a love theme, cinematic love theme, just like I don't know, Star Wars Princess Leia, something like that. So that's the idea for today. Something I just wouldn't like it to be as long as other days. So hopefully we can just make it shorter. Also because of this kind of music is probably all is about the emotions and not that much the arrangement, which is usually simpler. So I would like to do this on C major maybe. So okay, something like that, yes. I like this piano quite a lot for this kind of minimalistic, beautiful music. I tend to use that a lot, like this. I really like how this works in love music. So, okay. Hello, this. How are you? So let's figure out what tempo would be fine. Probably something like this. Fine, I'm fine. I'm just trying to do something like a love theme, super soft, calm, beautiful, something like that. So this is the piano sketch. This is what I got. So the chords are C major, then F minor, which is the fourth of the minor, as we were talking the other day in another video. C major again, then a diminished chord, then A minor, G major, and D major, but in the first inversion, so with the F sharp in the bass. Then we go back to no. Then I just played F major, G major, and we go back to C major. So I'm probably here. I would like actually to start this track with the piano, and maybe we can just bring a flute for the melody with super soft strings, just doing some kind of soft sustains. So let's try maybe that. I actually like this. It's a bit slow. Let's try this. Yeah, and then, yeah, I'm going just to join here with the piano sketch, because I think it's going to be easier just to work on the transition, to use the flute for the melody, So let's go. I will fix that. Okay, more or less. I'm not really worried about that. I'm just going to reduce the volume of the metronome, of the click. So, because I see it's clipping constantly, so. Okay, so I think this is just piano sketch that I think we can repeat right now, but the idea is just joining. The next part is going to be probably good to keep using the piano as accompaniment, then bring the melody with a flute or two flutes maybe, then add just contrasting with the first part, which is going to be just piano. Maybe we can add also some super soft strings, sustains and things like that, so we get a warm sound overall, but just keep using the piano in any case. So I'm going just to redo the piano sketch at that point, because I was searching also for some variation in just comparing with the first part, so we don't play exactly the same even when we just change the arrangement at that point. It would be nice just to add something interesting to more than just new arrangements. So Yeah, strings can be quite bright, I agree. It depends, I guess. Because, if we go, for example, my idea was doing something like this. Wait. No, wait. Just, I'm going to add a couple of them. Yeah, so I just discovered with Contact 7, the free player, I can just add better things here. So, okay, it would be like, let me hopefully the computer doesn't restart. I just like so much the sound of these strings with sul tasto, for example, because strings, the good thing of strings is that they can be used in many different ways, and the results you achieve with them can be really, really interesting. So my idea was doing something like this. That kind of pad which is probably super warm. Because yes, we can of course just use the brass in similar way, like, I don't know, loading horn sustains, just to give the idea. It would be something like this, right? But to me, even soft brass sounds a bit more triumphant. We can try, of course. Exactly, that's the sound I was searching for the strings here, like super soft. Okay, yeah, it was. Just doing the VC in 3 different voices, because this library also has auto DVC, so the sound is more natural than if you do that with any other library, So that's why I'm using this one for this. Okay, so let's try just to find something interesting for the second part of the. So now I like that change in the melody. That's beautiful, I think. Hopefully I don't forget about it. I think I did something like that, right? So, okay, I quite like this. So, I'm going just to have the piano sketch as reference in the piano roll and record probably the flutes first of all. So I have a good reference for the melody. So I'm going probably just to use 2 flutes. First of all, let's try with 2 flutes. We can maybe change it later if we don't like it completely. So, okay. I'm going to show you the piano roll here. I'm going to reduce the volume of the piano sketch, okay, so we can hear the melody better. Okay, so I think that's it. So let's go with the flutes. I made a mistake. I made a mistake, so I think da-da-dum. That's it. So now I'm going just to do the same, but with the instead of the flutes, now I'm going to record the piano accompaniment. So if we go back here, I'm going to mute this, not remove, but mute. Probably I'm going just to double this piano in order not to edit the sustain pedal and all these things, to make it like one single patch for the piano. I can just use another one and that's all. So I avoid editing around here. So let's go with the flute as reference, because the chords are just the same ones, and I'm just focusing now in the piano accompaniment. So let's go with this. This is the flute melody. I made some mistakes, so let's repeat this. I just didn't want it to be super simple, but also not complicated at all, so just a bit more than the first part. Okay, so I'm going just to record again the piano sketch. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just trying to put here the Logic Remote app, so I can just go faster. For example, right in I heard one article about the orchestration and remember the rule to give woodwinds player. Yes, and Yes, but we took care of that. I try to do that all constantly. That's why, for example, we have even super small spaces like here, or here, or here. Probably this is not the best example because, as you said, there are many long notes, but I try to have that in mind. Here, for example, we have a bigger one, so the flute sounds now breath. So as you see, we are allowing this guy to breathe. The player would have different places where it would be kind of easy just to take a breath and continue with the phrase. But yeah, that's really important, just to have that in mind when you write for woodwinds. That's true, completely true. So with libraries, we can just take the flute and do, okay, play C and just be here for half an hour if we want. But that's not natural, that's not realistic at all, so it's just better just to respect that. Just imagine constantly that you are playing with real musicians, real orchestra, because in the end the result you get is much more real. It's much more realistic, so I completely recommend that. Okay, so I'm going to play the cello now with the warm chords as we were talking before. So probably just let's see how this works. So this is the piano. I feel this piano in this second part is too loud, so maybe we can just low down the volume so the piano player could play just more with less volume, So this is what we have. Sorry. I'm just loading the violas too. And there is something I'm going to do just to prevent a restart. It's just bouncing C2 now that we have cleared these strings are going to be here without changes. So now I'm going just to record now the violas, okay? I feel the flutes need a bit more reverb just to join the rest better, because the piano has quite a lot. So let's go with the violas now, okay? So this is, sorry, this is, I'm going just to put the piano arrangement as reference. So again, this is just like super soft, calm strings, because I just want that color, you know. I don't really want them to stand out at all, just be there, you know, so we can hear that kind of super warm pad in the background. Let's add a cello legato. I'm going to use Vista for this. Okay, so we have the cello, the basses also recorded here. Probably we can just do layering with Appassionata, because maybe with the 3 libraries is too much sound, too loud, I mean. So what do you think? Because to me it sounds like the piano sketch is probably just a bit too... I probably would prefer something simpler, maybe. Something that doesn't take as much attention. Because to me this kind of arpeggios of... wait. You know, that it's like lots of movement in the piano, probably. So maybe something simpler can work better here, instead of just having a piano. I don't know what I did. Maybe something simpler. Let's try. No, I'm not going to remove this, okay? I'm just going to duplicate the piano and try something simpler for that part. So let's see. And also warmer, maybe. I don't know what I prefer. I just made some mistakes here in the diminished chord, but that's easy to fix because the Hello, Kale. Yes, that's the idea. The idea now is probably just introducing the violins. Just maybe they even can take the melody now. So yeah, exactly. That's the idea. That kind of thing. So I think I'm going to work on. I'm going to remove this because it's already clear. So I'm not sure. Probably I will go with this second piano accompaniment. I think it blends better with the rest. So let's try just to find something else for introducing the strings now after this part. So we finish in C major with sus 4 here. Maybe we can just go with so maybe we can go, I don't know. No. What would you like to go with something? Something like that, maybe. So, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, here we can go with the main melody, making everything a bit bigger. Yeah, I like this. I think I like this. I mean here. So the chords for this part is like F major, G major, A minor. Then we go back F major, G major, but then instead of A minor, I played C major. Then we play D major. No, sorry, A major in the first inversion, just like the dominant of D minor, which is the chord that we go then. So secondary dominant there. Then we go with A minor again, G major and D major in first inversion. Then we go, this is F major, G major, and we go back to C major, which was the key of the piece. So quite simple, but I think it's beautiful and there is no need to complicate this more, as I think this works. So maybe the violins can go with the main melody again here when we want to make it bigger. I don't know if I'm explaining correctly the idea, but This is just like a second interlude or something like that. And here I would like just to go with the main melody and maybe finish. So for this, maybe we can use another instrument. I don't know how a solo horn would work. I don't know. Let's also continue with the piano for the accompaniment. I would like probably just to use piano in full piece, in the whole piece, just as a way to blend everything together. So let's duplicate this patch again. Sad part and then happy end, like something dramatic happened. Yeah, that's another option. This doesn't sound sad. Okay, so maybe if we wanted something sad there, we can try something else. Yes, yes. I mean, I'm not really worried right now about the arrangement because we can do plenty of things. We have lots of space here. We are not using lots of things, so we can make many different things in the arrangement, like counterpoint and anything like that, or just details here and there. So yes, but definitely just counterpoint is going to add some richness to this because it's quite simple if we don't do anything like that. So yeah, I agree with you, Kale. Okay, so something sad. Okay, let me... You know, the most beautiful sad parts for me are usually the ones that are written in major keys. It's more difficult probably, but it's much more beautiful. So... that sounds kind of sad. That's... okay. The problem with doing this kind of is that we have modulated and we need to go back to C major probably. Okay. We could do that and just don't go so far away from our key. Yes, a bit. It's kind of magic. You mean this one, right? So this one. This. Yeah, it sounds... And what were we doing here? But you know, this part around here is also a bit... It's a bit sad too, I would say, maybe. I don't know. I like this quite... We can just maybe... Let's try this, and in any case we can always just go back and change. So probably... I'm going just to try... This is the piano sketch of the previous part we did, so maybe I was curious about using a solo horn. So I was going just to try this one, probably the Descant horn by Thinnes Brass. This is beautiful. It sounds super beautiful, quite clean, I don't know. Let's add a bit of reverb to this, okay? Just insert some reverb. Yeah, I didn't like that note so much for this context, you know, it was like kind of, yeah. Kind of magical, yes, I think you are right. Let's try... Okay, these little spaces I let while playing are thought just for helping the musician breathe, okay? So it's similar like what we did with the flute, but I just tried to make it more noticeable here. So hopefully you just... yes, you know, it's pretty similar when you write for brass and woodwinds in that way. You need to have in mind that players need to breathe. So it's good always just to leave some small spaces so they can just, I don't know, just take a breath when needed, you know. And especially when you write, for example, for flutes, and you're writing some kind of ostinato. Okay, I don't do that in the DAW because the differences are basically not disabled at all. But usually you just write for the first flute first, and then you just alternate with the second flute. So if you have something like that, for example, but this kind of things, but for a more or less long time, they can't really play that without breathing. They need to breathe. So it's usually nice to write for the first flute the ostinato you want, so this, for example, and then second flute comes and the first one just rests a bit, and you keep writing the same thing, but now for the second flute. So the result is like non-stop ostinato, But in real thing, what they are doing is just playing alternating between them. So that's interesting thing just to have in mind too. If you write for orchestra or something, or if you see some scores, you probably can see that. So it's just interesting. So okay, I think I like that horn. So probably we can just go with the piano again. Just prepare an accompaniment. I think I'm going to use the piano sketch as reference in the piano roll, so we can see the harmony, because I just forgot about what I did. So let's go. This is the piano sketch, okay? And I'm going to record the piano accompaniment for the horn. So F major. Okay, I like that, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is nice. I like that. Probably we can go now. Just trying to elaborate a bit better the strings. Just forget about the paths, and let's go with this. So let's just go with the basses. I'm not going to duplicate this. I'm going just to fix it later. Okay, so let's go with the basses. I'm going just to put the piano sketch anyway, again just for the reference, and let's go record the basses, okay? The double basses. Mistake here. Not the big one. It's easy to just fix that. Okay, so I think this is the place where the basses just join. So yeah, let's just try to do something like that. This is what I meant with fixing it. This is, I started just recording here in this bar now, and this is the bass we just recorded before. So when I just start recording something on the previous recording, these things just became crazy. The CC, expression, modulation, whatever I recorded before becomes crazy with the new values, because it's like the program, the DAW, assigns different values for the same MIDI parameter in the same place. That's usually when we see big jumps here, and it sounds weird. It doesn't sound well, so it's good just to edit it and just correct it, or what I did before, which is just duplicating the pads and just use a new one with the same sound, just to avoid having to edit. So let's go with the bass, with the cello. Now we are going just to give it a bit more of movement and creating a melody, counter melody, a scale suggested before. So cello. Okay, not too bad. Not completely what I love, but it's beautiful. Okay, let's go again with the piano sketch, and now let's try just to find a counter melody or something in the violas. Here is where the violins are going just to take the main melody. So let's listen to the full piece so far. Okay. I feel I need louder horn here. Also, you know what happens to me with this kind of tracks? I like them, but I have the feeling after a while that they are super boring, you know, like super slow all the time, similar things. Like they don't really offer anything special in terms of excitement or anything, you know. This is the horn. Okay, and the first part, the melody, how was it? Okay. But okay. So I'm going just to copy this as piano sketch for the final part, okay? So it would be something like this, I guess. Dun, dun, yes. Because I want the first part just to be repeating, but with the melody in the violins and just more elaborated orchestration here. So this is just like a piano sketch, okay? I'm just copying the same thing. So I have a reference for the melody, so I'm going with the violins, Vista violins. Let's see. Okay. I thought I had an extra an extra bar for okay, sorry. I thought I had an extra bar just in the end, just for doing a retardando. Okay, so this should be this one. Dun, dun. Yes, I'm not sure if I want the violins in this register or maybe one octave higher, because this is just like the lowest register they can achieve. And probably we want something that really contrasts with the previous part, we need something higher here in the violin. Even when these are the second violins and we can just double this with the first ones, but one octave higher like I'm going to do. probably it's going to be better just to, I don't know, just make these two 1 octave higher. But let's try first this way. Let's go with the telly, with the basis, sorry, and I'm going to record just having the piano sketch here as reference, just for the harmony. So I'm going to record the basis, okay? Let's go. Okay, no, not bad. Let's go now with the telly. Okay, so these are the telly, and probably I'm going just to take the rest of the strings for reference, which is probably already clear. So let's go with the telly. We are going, in any case, just to create a retardando in the tempo in the final part. Instead of doing it with an extra bar, we are probably just going to use the tempo, the tempo track, temp track, just to tweak that and make it work. So let's record the violas, but I think I'm already missing the violins higher. Anyway, I just uploaded the, I just wrote the violins 1 octave higher instead of where we had them. So let's go with the viola. So we have also more space for the violas, as the celli are going quite high in their register. I think it's going to be better, much better. So let's go with the violas. Something like that. But well done, you know. Let's try again. More or less. Okay. Okay. So let's tweak these things. You know, the union between the previous recordings and the new one. So we don't have this. This is the problems I was commenting before. We have two different values for each of the points. So that's why it becomes crazy here, you know. So it's better just to tweak. So the program knows that there is just one value. And is this one we are giving now. So that's for the violas, but I think we need to do the same with the celli. So something like this, more or less, and something like the bass with the expression, and same thing with the basses, which are here. Okay, yeah, and also the expression. You know, I don't worry too much about these areas. It's like if something is weird to me, I will notice that. So this is just like kind of logical approach, but then of course when I listen to it, if I find something weird, I will go back and see what is sounding weird and just correct it. So that's the idea. Let's go and listen again. Actually, we can maybe just layer all the strings. If we are just finishing there, we'll probably just remove the... I just copied this here because I'm moving this to the Appassionata strings library. And maybe I'm going also to layer with the cinematic studio strings, like we usually do other times. So let's see how this sounds from the beginning, and then we start doing things here, okay? It's just loading the cinematic studio strings. Okay, so from the beginning, and maybe we can just... I'm getting a cold, so probably just give me 1 second, please. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay, sorry. It was just a call. I wasn't expecting the call, so I'm sorry for the pause here. Just putting this so you can just see the piano too, maybe. Okay, so I just let this playing together because I thought it would be better if someone was waiting here just to listen to what we have. So, okay. So I think we can. I think this works. You know, the strings here. Maybe we can just start arranging the last part. So go with the flutes, legato, and double the first violins. Maybe we can go with the oboes, the first and the second oboe. Probably the first one can double the second violins. So one octave lower, probably, or maybe this is too. This is going to be too high. Is this? Maybe no. A bit maybe, but not that much as I thought. Okay, and now let's go with the violas, which I think is something the second oboe can double, maybe one octave higher in this case. So also maybe the celli can be doubled by the clarinets or the bassoons. Let's go with the bassoons legato. First of all, here, playing what the celli played. Probably we can go with something completely new to the to the clarinet. Sorry. Let's see what can we get. Maybe a counterpoint to the horn part. Okay, but in this case, this piano was just for the piano sketch. So I'm going to record a piano accompaniment for that part, where the violins start with the melody. So if we go to the piano roll, these are the strings arrangement, okay? So as we see, we start with the basses, then we introduce the celli and the violas, and here is where the violins come with the main melody. So we need the piano arrangement here. Yeah, it's too John Williams maybe. But you know, when you love a composer and his work, it's completely normal, I guess, that you get some vibes or influences by his music, you know. So okay, I just played some random piano accompaniment, something pretty simple, but I think works well with this context. I don't know. There are a few mistakes maybe. Okay. Yeah, I think this is beautiful. This kind of music is beautiful in the context it's written for, you know? Because at the same time I find it a bit boring sometimes. Because it's like really nothing happening here. It's constantly the same thing. It's beautiful, and you listen to it, and you have the impression that it's beautiful. It's something beautiful, easy to listen to. But at the same time, you just don't find anything especially interesting in it, usually, okay? So, because you have some masterpieces written in this kind of music, I think. Some of them. Okay, so let's probably just, I don't know, let's go with the horns, sustained horns, maybe, just to create bigger sound in the area where the violins start. So, because I want it to be big, but not as big as epic music. I'm not going to use choir, for example, or percussion, anything like that, more than emphasizing maybe. So let's go with the horn sustains here. I don't know why it doesn't react on time. Okay, so yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it works. Let's go with some trombones. So I'm going to use this one by Cinebrush, I think. And as I usually have two trombones. We usually have two trombones in the orchestra and one bass trombone. I'm going just to record two voices for the trombones, okay? So we respect that, kind of respect it. Okay, so let's go back again to the piano roll with the strings as reference, and let's record the trombones here. Okay. Hello, Antonio. How are you? We are just working on... Yeah, exactly. Too honey here. It couldn't be sweeter. So, this is what we got. Like love theme. So that's what we have done here today. I'm going just to add some timpani rolls. Just to emphasize the start of the violins. So let's go. Probably one octave higher is better. Timpani rolls and also tam-tam, I think. I don't want to use the piatti because they sound too big, I think, for this. Yes, yes. Actually, that was the first reference I mentioned. So yeah. Okay, yes. Just, but you know, I think it's because, of course, because it's the same kind of track, and also because of the fourth of the minor being used as just something. The first thing you'll hear is that, you know, and I think in Princess Leia theme it happens the same way, and also because I had that track in mind since the beginning, so it's almost impossible just to avoid any similarly things. So yeah, it's completely that style and that idea. Probably I will just have Logic crash because some libraries as the Vienna Synchron Brass and also some of the Cine Brass and Cine Perk libraries just give me some problems with something, with this thing, which I don't know what is it. And sometimes Logic crashes, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, let's go and record a tuba here in the last part where the strings start. So this is the strings arrangement. So I'm going to have this as reference, and let's go with the tuba. Okay, Antonio, it was nice to see you here. Have a good day, man. Bye. So, yes. Okay, I just feel like we need something, probably just bass drum rolls here, just to emphasize the start of the melody in the violins. I think this transition needs like something bigger, like impactful, just to surprise a bit. So I probably will go with bass drum rolls, something like this. This sound. something like that maybe. And I actually don't know, maybe we can even use something synthetic, something like a synth or something. Wait, look, maybe something like this, like subhits or something. If we just use it in a super subtle way, we won't really notice it's there, but it's going to help us quite a lot, I think. So let's go with the subhits here. Probably this one. Of course not like this, but maybe something much more subtle, maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm just putting it in the correct place. Okay. I'm going just to bounce it in situ and see where the transient is. So we can just put it in the correct place. So it looks like transient is here, maybe. Okay, we have the problem with the solo in this library. In this template, I mean. Okay, not a problem, you know, it's just... Okay, so let's listen to everything again. What about increasing the tempo just a bit? Like... There is something weird, right? Something sounding weird, and I think it's in the strings. Something weird here. You know, I'm trying just to make a sidechain because I can't really hear the second horn easily. It's like the violas are maybe just hiding it a bit, and I don't want that, you know. And I'm finding here in my template the, oh my god. Okay, I have an idea. It's going to be better. Let's just bounce the second horn line, and we can make the sidechain searching audios instead of, okay. So audio, here we are, much easier. So now the strings are going just to slow the volume, just get behind the horn. So this is something I would usually just do in the mix process, but I think it's better just to do it here in this case because of the streaming, you know. So you can also hear what I mean. Hello, Ricardo. Thank you. Happy to know you are enjoying this. So what I'm going to do now is just applying the same thing to the other strings that are also doing the layering. So just copying this because this is just affecting in that way, you know, like making the library just go down a bit when the horn plays. So I think these are the 3 groups, yeah. So that's the idea, you know. Let's see now how the horn can be heard, the second horn. There is something weird here. We have these 2. This and this are not sounding well. Let's see. But it's like they have kind of delay or something. Delay, I mean, they are not on time. They are off completely. It looks like that. But that's weird because, come on. Anyway. Do the same with the clarinet. Okay, that's beautiful. That works better, I think. So I think we can maybe go with some harp glissandi. I don't know how well this one would work. Just when the violins start. Let's go. Okay, I think it works nicely. The only thing is that maybe we need some reverb there in the harp and maybe just work on the automatization. So it doesn't start okay, like it doesn't start so loud, because I want a little crescendo in the harp. So let's just take this 1, 2, and maybe something like this. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And let's go with a harp also, just not a piano, but also a harp. Okay, I'm going just to use the piano for reference in the piano roll, so you can also see what I'm playing and these things, you know. I made some mistakes, sorry. Okay, there are a few mistakes also here, but not as bad as the previous ones, I guess. Okay, so this is the harp. I just recorded here, and probably I'm just going to add a bit of reverb to this one too. Finally, just to finish this, I think we can go with tweaking the tempo a bit in the end, just creating a bit of retardando probably towards the end. So yeah, so probably just something like this, quite subtle. Okay, not that subtle, but yeah, maybe 85, something like this. And just tweak here the line. I don't know how this will sound. Now it looks like an end. That's one of the things we can do with the tempo, and the other one is when the melody is about to start. Here we can tweak this, okay? So the idea is creating a small retardando. Many pieces do that. And just before the climax of the piece arrives, so we get that kind of extra impression. So it's just going to be like one beat, one bar, I mean, and then we are going to go back to the previous tempo. So we have that feeling of the piece continuing, but it's always nice just to go to play with these things before a climax. It adds extra emotion. Probably we will need to tweak all the rolls and probably the glissandi harp in order just to impact in this bar when the climax starts. But usually MIDI respects everything, so let's check how this sounds. actually it's quite good. I think it works quite well. Okay, so the only thing I'm not happy with is this one. So probably I'm just going to unmute this because it sounded like this worked. I don't know what happened. Probably if we just if we just bounce this again, because the reason why I bounced this to audio is not other one. This is the telly from the modern scoring strings. Is not other thing that my computer restarting with this library. So that's why I don't want to have this activated in my template. And if I can use it and just forget about it, that's better. I mean, I bounce it to audio and okay. And once I use this, I will forget about it. I think this is the way to go in my case. So I'm going to bounce the telly, okay? Telly sul tasto. Hopefully we can do the same with the violas without getting... These are the violas, okay? Without restarting the computer. I'm just going to tweak the MIDI a bit, just in case this has some influence with what was happening, because I was finding kind of negative delay or something here, but in a way that it became a problem, like things were all completely off of tempo. Okay, so I'm going just to bounce this one too. These are the violas from the same library, so that's why I'm going to bounce them in order to avoid problems with the library. So now the library is muted, and I can actually deactivate it, same here, and we can just go with the audio files. So let's listen to the full piece so we can see if we want something else or if we are done. Okay, I think the piece is ready. I just would like to tweak a couple of things. I would like to add some low frequencies, extra low frequencies to the part where the violins. Hola, Joris. Okay, Ricardo. You mean the piano I'm using in this track? Is the Maverick, I think. This one. This is by Native Instruments, I think. I just found it beautiful for this kind of soft tracks. But yes, usually I go with Pianotech 6, I think is the version I have. And I actually only have 2 pianos and 2 harps here. But and I have a Stingray loaded here. It sounds beautiful too, this piano, it's beautiful. But for this kind of music I prefer the softer tone of the Maverick, this one. And actually this one I only tweaked the space features. I just didn't do anything else. Didn't tweak the tone or anything, and even didn't change the reverb preset. So that's I just increased the volume to the highest one because these libraries sound pretty low in volume. In general, all the pianos from Native Instruments I found, and I just using the basic Maverick preset. So that's the piano I'm using here. And okay, yeah, I was saying that I wanted some extra basis frequencies in the part of the melody in the violins. So I'm going to use a sine wave I created in Omnisphere. I have one of these in my template constantly. So this is basically, I think I showed how to do this in another video, but basically, okay, this, I just don't know what's this. Anyway, I think in default you find 8 voices in Omnisphere. I'm not sure how many you have, 64, okay. So I just reduced this to 1, and in the A part I just selected the sine wave. So this sounds like this. Something weird happening here. Modern. Okay, it looked like it's better just to use this. Anyway, I'm not sure what's happening here. This doesn't sound like it should. So yeah, it is this one. Okay, so I'm just going to record the bass root notes. So this is hard to listen to it, but I don't want it to be heard. I want it just to add that kind of deep frequencies that help the music become bigger in some way. So this is the reference I'm going to use in the piano roll, just the strings arrangement, and I'm going just to record sine wave here for the basses. So we get bigger sound there. Okay, this is a sine wave, I record it. So I quantize this and as you can see, this is not something you will listen in the full piece when everything's sounding together, but it definitely helps with the bass frequencies a real orchestra usually don't have. So yeah, it sounds a bit like Princess Leia. I think Antonio was commented that before, and I think he's completely right. It reminds that track. So, and the other thing I was thinking is just tweaking some part of the melody in the violins. Because, first of all, because it sounds like a few pieces I've already done. Okay, wait. I want it to just be... Look, this part, when the violins go up, I just found that... here in this jump is okay, but what comes next is just something I did in a couple of other times, and actually this is something I've used in a film I'm working on right now, so I just would prefer just to tweak it. We did something before. Okay, no. This is not what we did. We did it before in the flutes, I think. In the part of the flute here, the flutes were doing something different. I would like this. Dun, 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 in the violins in the end. So what? Dun, dun, dun. What do I did? What did I do? Come on. So this is the. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think I know what I did here. So these are the violins. The first violins. I think this is what the flutes were doing. So I'm going to copy this. Same thing in the second violins. One octave below, and let's layer this same thing in the other libraries. So we just change that, you know. So copy, paste. As always, these three libraries work pretty well together when doing layering. Just copy and pasting them. You don't even need to tweak anything else. Let's copy now the violin and let's go with the woodwinds. Just tweaking the woodwinds here, and also the oboe. The first oboe was doing that. So let's see. This. Okay, no, not that way. It wasn't that way. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think I know what's going on, what I need to do. Yeah. So this is the first violins. So this note should come here. This should be dun, dun. Okay. We have problem here. I wouldn't like this jump, you know. Anyway, let's just see how this works. I'm going to do exactly the same thing, just all the layerings, okay? Just to get a nice idea of what's going on with that jump that I just don't like. So here you can see what I'm doing, okay? So I'm just repeating exactly the same thing, just the same layering, so because it's not really that much work. So okay, now let's go with the flute. Oh no, sorry. Let's go with the flutes. Let's go with the first oboe. And let's see how this works. Let's see how this jumps. Okay, no, I don't like that. Actually, there's something weird happening at some point. I don't like that jump, you know, it's like, I think it's going to be even better just to maintain and just make the jump happen here. Okay. So this is going to maintain around here. And actually we can even tweak the expression, so like if the melody was dying here, but then it awakes again, you know, something like this. I don't know, what do you think? You know, I just didn't want to use that kind of... It worked, the melody before, but at that point I think, but it's something I've done before, so I just wanted something new, you know. So I'm going to do this again, just go with the... Sorry, I was tweaking the piano roll things. So this one should be there. Again, let's see. Actually, it's going to be easier if we just listen to this like this. Let's go. Let's see how this works. Yeah, I think this is better already. So let's just do the layering correctly. I'm going to unmute the other string libraries. Let's do the layering correctly and see how this sounds. And if it's sounding well, I think we finish the track. We can just search for we could call it already finished, of course, with mix and mastering pending. Okay, so this should be that way. Let's see all together. Okay. I know what's happening. You know, I know what's happening there. That's something not nice. But because I think it's just that not all the libraries, not all the strings libraries um, have the violins with the same register in the highest parts of their timbre, you know, because violins are really well defined in their range in the low register, so all of them can play down to this note. Okay, if you play one note below, it doesn't work directly because a real violin only comes down to this G. But in the highest part of the register of the violins, there is more problems usually, and it's not always the same notes. So that means that not all the libraries here are sampled in exactly the same register. So in the highest notes, like the ones we have here, they don't have these notes recorded in all the libraries. So that's why when we go here in this track, some libraries just disappear, stop playing because there are no information there for them, while others keep playing because they already sampled these notes. So that's weird, and I'm not sure honestly if I can make this. Let's try doing the violins one octave lower in general, as we thought initially, just to avoid these kind of things, but I like them more in the highest parts, you know, one octave higher, and also it prevents some problems that we would have with the violas if we just wrote the violins one octave below. So I think it's okay, you know, probably. Yeah, I can maybe apply a couple of tricks in Contact just to make them sound, the libraries I mean that don't have this note sampled. I can make them play it anyway, but it's not going to be the best option in any case. You know, like playing with, I think these notes. This is a E6, so probably, yeah. You know, Appassionata, for example, only have the note below, but this one is not sampled. Let's see the cinematic studio strings. It's the same as the Appassionata, so it's like Vista recorded this super high E, and at this point is the only library playing this. So if we come with the other libraries just doing layering for all the piece, and then in that exact note the other two disappear, it means we are noticing something weird in the performance. So and honestly, I'm not sure how I can do that in this library. Oh, okay, it's here. So yeah, I could play with this, and also the transpose tool from my DAW, so they could play something. For example, if I make this, okay, I can. Oh my god, it would be something like two semitones. That would be what we need, I think. And then we would just need to make this 22, I think. So basically, yeah, exactly. That's an option. Not really nice. I would do the same here. No, not here. Here isn't. It won't be needed because these violins are playing in their register. So probably here too. Let's tweak this, and let's tweak. No, come on, not you. But in contact, we just can do this. We just put 2 semitones higher, and we reduce 2 here. So now these violins that didn't have this note sampled, now they play it. But you know, I usually would just duplicate the patch, and actually I'm going to do it. I would just duplicate the instrument and just do this in just that note, and the other ones just leave them in a more realistic, in a more realistic way as they were sampled originally. So I don't have to be tweaking these things and be doing these kind of things. So I'm going just to copy. I don't know, you know, this is just like a last resource. I wouldn't do that if I could avoid it in any other way. So now what I'm going to do is just remove all the notes in these 2 patches, okay, except that note I want to be fixed. So this is not going to be played here. The only bad thing is that we are just probably avoiding the legato there. But anyway, that's the price we have to pay. And in this previous one, we are just going to, in the previous instrument, we are just going to make it as default. So 0. And here we have to just put it in the original pitch. So everything is now here tweaked. This is not going to sound, so I just don't care about muting it. This is going to be 24, but we need to also go back to the previous contact tune, so the original one, while we have this one already tweaked, you know. So now everything should be sounding more or less well, okay? So that's the idea. And probably we can just also double the melody with children choir, just doing some legato. What do you think? Maybe we can go with Arba legato girls. Okay, maybe I need to activate it. And just probably we are going to have problems with this because the register is not really wide. Anyway, let's try. Violins for reference. Something like that. Okay, So I think we are done, Let's listen to the full piece finally for the last time, and I think we can just finish this. We can call it finish, I mean. Full piece. Actually, I just don't like how this worked. It didn't work, it sounds weird. So I will probably just check how to solve that without changing the melody, And I just noticed I didn't record the legato girls singing the melody. So I think we should do that. It added a nice color, Hello, Sierra. Thank you. Happy to know you like it. What do you mean with break this down? Exactly. If you can let me know what you mean. Let's record it. I think, yeah, it was better, one octave higher too. The girls, sopranos. That's sounding bad. Like explain what you did. Okay, yes, but I made this in live here, so there is like a couple of hours Yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes of video already. We've been here for 2 hours and a half almost. So that's what we have spent doing this. So basically, mm, we just started getting the idea in a piano sketch. Then I just decided to use this piano because I like the sound for this kind of pieces. And then I just wanted the flutes to take the melody, so just with a subtle variation in the melody, we just took the flute. I wanted the piano to be accompanying for the full piece, because also that would help me as with blending each of the parts together. Just having the same instrument from the beginning to the end is usually a good way just to give coherence to the full piece, you know. And also when the flute started, I just used some celli and violas playing sul tasto, just some chords like this. You know, super soft, super calm, but with quite the warm sound. Then we just created this new part for the French horn, just to bring the melody to the French horns, just changing the colors. Again, the piano was here, but then we started to develop a bit better the strings, not just doing chords, but just doing some melodies. So we just started first of all with the basses. This is the part where we were using the celli and the violas as sustains. But then we introduced the celli and the violas doing with some movement. So this is the part where the French horn takes the melody and the strings start moving a lot. As you see here, the violas, especially the violas, are not playing chords or anything, are kind of counterpoint. And we, in the woodwinds, at this point we also had some woodwinds just doubling the celli and the violas, and clarinets just doing counterpoint to the melody of the French horn. And then it's just the end. We just came to the climax where the violins start taking the melody and just to get that extra emotion. So here we just created a soft transition. We introduced also the French horns playing chords, trombones, tuba, and also the flutes and the two oboes just doubled the melody. And that's all, you know. Pretty simple. We just also introduced here a harp and also a girl's soprano legato. Okay, I forgot about checking that reference, but we'll do it for sure. And I don't know, we can maybe try that. But you know, this is a different style of music. I've never done that before, I think. So not sure if it's going to be something inspiring for anybody. I can make some tests before. But yeah, that could be a nice idea, you know, going with Lana Del Rey. I mean, type of beat. It's just something I've never done before, but what I listened from her, it's something I liked, and she is quite original in comparison with other artists. Billie Eilish too. I think Billie Eilish, I listened also not too much, and you know, these are styles I'm not really in love with. It's like I recognize they are good, you know. Of course, many people love that kind of music, and that's totally fine. I'm totally fine with that. But here I mostly just work with cinematic music because that's what I have to do more often. And also, it's just what I enjoy the most, you know. like creating pop music. Yeah, I made some things in the past. Actually, I was a member of a heavy metal band, and we composed. I composed different kinds of music in the past, and also for TV, also trailer music. But this one is the one I enjoy more. You know. Um, Let me just save the track. So yeah, of course I can check, and I will check that uh, that piece you told me. So, what is your thought on native instrument symphonic series? Okay, I have them here, but I don't use them because I think there are better orchestral libraries. They are not bad. You mean these ones, right? So they are not bad. Come on, I don't mean that either. If you just load here the ensemble, but for the sound I prefer other libraries. And also I think in terms of articulations and options they offer you for the price they have, I think you can find much better options. But it doesn't mean they are bad. You can get professional results with this. It's more that maybe there are better just tools to achieve some results. But they sound beautiful, but I don't know, it's like I compare that with, for example, this. Okay, this is not a good comparison because I had not. Wait. For example, this library. If I play the arc, no problem, Niran. It's just my opinion, okay? In any case, you just if you like them and you were considering them, I don't know. I would just check some more options so you can wait. So you can just see, and also you can maybe find lots of different reviews on YouTube from many different strings libraries. But I think probably this one is more beautiful. Or also the Berlin strings, but Berlin strings are much more expensive than these guys. Okay, I think this is 700 euros and $700, but you can find this. Actually, they have still the Black Friday going on, and you can find this for 300 or something like this. And I got these ones in the complete 13 collector's edition. So I didn't pay directly for them. They just were included and just wanted to try them, so I have them installed. But I just prefer other libraries. They don't sound bad, okay? So for example, just comparing the sustain in the cello, okay, with both libraries. So this is the modern scoring strings. For example, and if this is the I don't know, it's like I prefer the sound of this library, but this is also personal, I don't know. Also, I think the articulations, I just don't like to use key switches so much, which is not a nice thing to compare here because you have to use them here too. But I don't know, it's like, yes, more dynamic layers, exactly. you know, I think there are better libraries for sure for that price, especially because they are not cheap. If you buy these, I think it's 600 or something like that. So I'm not sure if anybody buy these at that prices, but in any case, they are not cheap at all for what you get. So, and also the solo, I just actually didn't try these ones yet. So for example, let's try actually a flute arpeggio. But in any case, in the brass, I found there are a few interesting things that I liked, but not sure. Let's try the flute arpeggio. Actually, I didn't even do a battery save to this one. Okay. What's this? Okay, so yeah. This is beautiful, it's interesting. Not bad, you know, it's not bad. I don't know, maybe the legato. We can actually... You know, I usually like more vibrato in these things, in the soloist, more expressive instrument. Let's, for example, just... sorry. Let's, for example, just compare the oboes, the solo oboe legato. Okay, I'm doing it not okay. These are the sections. I'm sorry. I just want to compare the solo oboe, for example, with the solo oboe of the Berlin strings, which is the one I'm using. So for example, okay, yes, in the solo instrument that's good. They allow you to control the vibrato. So you can assign this, for example, I guess. Yeah, you can assign that to a fader, for example, and not bad, but look, for example, just compare with this. Okay, with the solo oboe from Berlin strings. What you are going to hear? I think it's another level. It's another level, honestly. I think there are much better options, but also this library is probably more expensive than the solo woodwinds from Symphony series. So this is the Berlin strings ones. This is this one. And it sounds amazing. Anyway, so hello Natmar. We were just comparing a couple of some libraries, like the Symphony series from Native Instruments with other orchestral libraries, because Niran or Niran just asked what was my impressions on that libraries on the symphonic series, and I was just saying that I think there are better options than these ones in orchestral libraries, especially for the price they have. They are not cheap. So, and probably they should, comparing with other libraries that, I don't know. But that's just my impression. So, just to say goodbye today, let's listen to the full piece again. I'm not happy with that thing happening here, but that's okay. That's something I will tweak. in some way. We will see how. Noire is also beautiful, I agree. I think I have it here. Yeah. So that's it, what we did today. And I was thinking that actually when we were talking about the oboes, the melody here could also be played by an oboe. So actually let's see how this would sound instead of flutes, just as a curiosity. So I'm going to mute the flutes, I'm going to use them as reference in the piano roll. Okay, just as curiosity, just to compare how things change depending on the instrument we use for the solo melody, or instead of two flutes, just one solo oboe. Okay, so I'm going to play the oboe. Okay. Ah. It's different, maybe more typical. So where did I destroy it? Okay, so this is different, you know, it's a different approach. The one we had before, it was this with the flutes. And this is the other sound. And I changed the melody in the end for the oboe because the oboe here is probably not nice. It's not, oboe is higher in volume, also in the lowest register instead of the highest one, while the flutes are the opposite. If you play flutes in the lower register, they are going to sound with a less volume. They are going to be harder to notice than if they play in the highest register. So, what do you prefer, oboe or flute? For that part. This is oboe. Yes, probably you can just manage. You can handle a template like this one. This one is 500. Yeah, a bit more of 500 tracks, but I have this deactivated, so I only have on the RAM just the instruments I'm using, which are not really that much here. So yeah, probably with 64 gigabytes of RAM, you can just completely be comfortable with this template. I'm not sure about the M1 processor because I've never used these computers, but what I've heard is that they work pretty well actually. This is actually, I don't have more than 64 gigabytes of RAM, okay? I have actually that one, This is an iMac Pro, and my processor is Intel 7 with 8 cores. So I also don't have a ultra machine or anything like that, a monster or anything. So exactly, that's what I do. What Kalel said, just deactivating, and just if I need to use, for example, I don't know, the just trumpets legato. So I go and I click here. I think actually you can also assign just a shortcut to this if you just don't want to go with the mouse and click. And it's already... And if I just don't want to use this finally, I just deactivate it and that's all. So... yeah, I think you can do that. If the processor, I mean, if the CPU allows you, which I think it will, because M1 processors seem to be quite good. I mean, they seem to work quite well. They said. So I guess if the processor allows it, you can do it, because I have that amount of RAM here, 64. So RAM shouldn't be a problem at all, I guess. It's probably just the processor, but as you see, for example, mine is quite... It works quite well, and when I play music, it keeps usually in super low values. Yeah, I guess it will be able to do it without problems. So let's leave the oboe then, no? Right? Actually, I'm thinking of going with a Mac Pro when they release it next year. It depends on the price and yes, it's a solo oboe while the flutes were two flutes. We could go with. Actually, let's just add this detail. Mark 3. Not smart. It depends. Usually, okay. This for example is not for any client. This is just something I felt like doing and I just thought could be interesting and I don't know. Just I thought mainly it would be shorter. You know because in the end we are just spending here like 2 or 3 hours per video, almost 3 hours today. I just wanted this to be shorter this time, but it wasn't. Finally, we were talking a bit, but other times yeah, I did something that were for clients, some things that were thought for clients and they finally didn't make it. So it depends on the track. For example, we were doing a love theme a couple of weeks ago, maybe, or last week. I just don't remember, and that was for a client. Um, so it depends, it depends on the track. This one in specifically is not for any client. So I will probably just work on this a bit further and just out of the video, I mean. And probably just upload it to my portfolio because it's always nice, to have more and more material. So it depends on the piece and on each of the videos. I yes, I do. I've worked mostly on music for TV, but and I've worked with libraries, but it's not like something I've done a lot. I just composed this summer a couple of albums. One is romantic music, not like this because this is probably too mellow, but yeah, in this style more or less. I composed like 12 tracks from one album, and I had to do another album in magical mystery fantasy music for the same publisher, and they are going to release it's a new company that still is not out, and they will go out in February, they said. That's the idea. So they wanted just to get some big catalog of many different things going on at the same time. So when they just started working as a new company, they already had a huge catalog. So that's one of the things I've done. So I can't really tell you how it went, not yet. And also I've worked with a company called Analog People. They are from Santa Monica. In music for TV, I have also quite a lot of music on royalty-free libraries, but that's something I just do that as an extra when I feel bored or I just don't have lots of things to do, and I just don't feel too motivated. I went with some royalty-free music, and that's all. It's not something I love doing. And also trailer music. I've worked with a few publishers too, so it's not directly library music, but it's similar, but in the trailer music universe. So, and mostly then I've worked on video games. I'm working on video games, and I'm working on a film right now that will be probably it will be out in the beginning of next year, maybe February or March, something like that. That's the idea at least. And also I have another guy just answered me because I was talking to him for a few months ago about another film, and they just answered me finally this week, just that they would send me a few like samples of the film, so I could just create a couple of demos for them to see if I would be a nice fit. So I'm waiting for that too. And also I have some projects with another director from South Africa, but I'm waiting for them. It looks like that's going to be something not happening right now, but something probably in the close future. But it's interesting because they are just going to okay, their plans is just singing with Netflix, with I think they already did, but we will see, because also Netflix depends, not everything that is released in Netflix is like super big productions. This is not small. This is probably the biggest project I would be involved in, but it's definitely not something like, I don't know, Marvel film or anything like that. I wish. So, and that's going to be probably in the future. I can't really tell anything else because, first of all, I don't know anything else, and secondly, I'm not sure what they want to be told or what it shouldn't be told. So that's it. But yeah, it seems like I'm fortunately quite busy lately, and looks like I will be busy for a few more time at least. So that's always great in this world. So yes, but library music is something interesting just to try, especially because you don't have deadlines usually. Okay, if you are working on an album or something like that, maybe yes, but royalty-free music, for example, you just create music in the rhythm you want, and you just upload it, and you just wait. And while you wait, you can keep creating some more music. So it's like not super tight deadlines in anything. You can just. It's not like working on a film or in a video game that music needs to be ready to be implemented, or just the soundtrack needs to be ready by that date, and you can't be late with that. It's different, so it depends also on the person, and also if this is your main job or this is just something you do as a hobby, or everything is different depending on your personal situation. So but yes, that's something that can be quite nice. Actually, I have a friend. He was working on royalty-free music for many years, and he was getting quite good results. But it's something also a bit not too stable. So I would go with something else too, not just focus on that. Anyway, it was a pleasure for me just to be here today, composing this with you all, with all the people who were here. So I hope to see you in the next one. Sierra, I will check the Lana Del Rey song. And probably I can try something like that in another video in the future. So it's cloudy, it's winter weather, it's cold, kind of cold. Of course, it's not cold like you can find in other countries in the east of Europe, or I don't know, Russia or Sweden, or in the north of Europe. It's just cold for what we have here. So I don't know what's the weather right now here, but probably around 0 degrees in my town. Maybe a bit more, actually. Probably a bit more. Let me check actually where I live. Yeah, I said we have like 6 degrees here where I live. 9 right now. Right now it's 9. And so yeah, it's kind of cold, but of course not that much. So where are you from, Joris? By the way, maybe you already told me it was Chile, probably. I don't know. There were many people from Chile the other day here. So in Chile it's summer right now, right? You have summer there. No, it's my pleasure. This is something. Ah, you're from Belgium. Okay, okay. So Belgium probably is colder than Spain, right? Yes. Yeah, I guess you have cold. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just forgot who was from each place. So okay, so it was super nice to have you here as always, and I hope to see you in the next one or just whenever it's good, okay? So have a good day, guys, and thank you for being there in the streaming, okay? Bye.